I now call the December 9th meeting of the Wallingford-Swarthmore Board of School Directors to order. In addition to those that you see before you, we have no one participating by phone today, but Mr. Ballas is unable to participate tonight, so we have 8 voting board members present this evening. In opening, as you're able, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First up, we have the Student Representatives Report. Ms. Sharman.
Thank you. STEM Night at SRS last week was a huge success with over 250 participants. Students learned about the brain, extracted DNA from a strawberry, and experimented with robots and 3D printing, among other activities. The school would like to thank everyone who helped and attended, with a special thank you to co-chairs Christy Schuda-McGuire and Don Carone for organizing the event, as well as to Adam Nee and Eric Iverson for their support. To continue exposing students to the STEM fields, SRS is reintroducing its Imagination Station. The Imagination Station is a club held weekly in the library where students can explore different challenges and activities relating to STEM. Students may work with small groups or individually depending on the materials and challenges for that day. The first meeting is tomorrow, December 10th, for students in the 1st and 2nd grade. Finally, Mrs. Knox's 4th grade class will be assembling hygiene kits for City Team Chester. Hygiene kits provide cleanliness, improved health, and a sense of dignity to someone struggling with homelessness or poverty. Everyone is encouraged to donate toiletries, including travel-size soap, deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, and combs. The drive will run until December 17th. Last week, the NPE Book Fair was a huge success. The proceeds from the fair will be used to purchase books for a school in need. The school would like to thank Elisa Goldman and all of the parent volunteers for their efforts in organizing this year's book fair. And this week, WES students are participating in Art Goes to School. Art Goes to School is a nonprofit organization founded here in Delaware Valley in 1962. Throughout the year, over 600 volunteers visit elementary and middle school classrooms to present artwork. The students are encouraged to ask and answer questions, a chance to engage with and think critically about each piece. The program develops an appreciation for art and offers students a chance to look at artwork in different ways. To continue this idea of different perspectives, WES will begin its Foreign Language Club on January 13th. The WES Foreign Language Club is an extracurricular before-school program designed to open students' minds to new languages and new ways of thinking. Students experience language hand-in-hand with lessons about history, holidays, and day-to-day life in different cultures. There is a Level 1 class for 1st and 2nd graders, a Level 2 class for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and a Level 3 class for students with over 2 years of experience with foreign languages. Congratulations to the middle school wrestling team for an awesome performance at the Chichester Invitational this past Saturday. The Middle School Fine and Applied Arts Night are taking place this week at 7 p.m., with the 7th graders performing Tuesday evening and the 8th graders performing on Thursday. The show will feature the school chorus, orchestra, and band, while the students' artwork will be displayed along the main hall. The high school will also have its concert next Tuesday, December 17th at 7:30 p.m. And this Friday, December 13th, the high school will host an art exhibition featuring the works of students who took AP Studio Art. This course is divided into 3 sections: drawing, 2D design, and 3D design. Students can choose to explore any of the 3 and create a portfolio that captures their artistic style and talent. On Friday, their works will be displayed in the main hall for other students to observe and appreciate. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Selma. Next, we have the Superintendent's Report. Dr. Palmer.
Thank you, Dr. Grandi. I have a few items on tonight's meeting agenda that I would like to highlight for everyone. Under the minutes section, you will notice 2 sets of minutes being presented this evening for approval. The first one is our November 25th action meeting agenda, and then our second minutes come from the December 2nd reorganization meeting. Under the personnel section, among the items that are being presented, you will notice 2 administrative staff resignations. Those resignations are Dr. Jennifer Gaudioso, our Director of Elementary Education, and Dr. Christopher Brown, Strathaven High School Principal. I'm truly sorry to see 2 of our colleagues leave us. Since they are leaving in January, we're already working on filling those vacancies. For our interim high school principal, we are first looking internally. We are fortunate to have talented assistant principals with us who may agree to move into this role on a short-term or interim basis. For our interim director of elementary education, we are looking externally for someone to fill this who has this area of expertise. We know these are two pairs of big shoes to fill, but we're hopeful that we'll be able to name interim administrators in the very near future. Also under Personnel section, there's an item for positive behavior interventions and supports, strategies, and curriculum. You've heard me talk several times about how the wonderful work of our elementary teams have been doing this year with PBIS. Because the support is new for us this year, our elementary teams, which have now organized into subcommittees, need to work on the actual strategies and the curriculum to support PBIS throughout the year. Our agenda item requests the approval of 225 hours for each school, and it lists all certificated teaching professionals, non-teaching professionals, and instructional support as doing the work. Because in this case, PBIS is a school-wide initiative with everybody being a part of the support team. Another area of our agenda that I'd like to highlight is under the policy section. There are 11 policies that are presented for third and final reading this evening. These policies presented tonight are identical to those that were presented for first and second readings previously. And finally, an item not on our agenda, our schools will be closed on December 23rd through January 1st for our winter break. And on behalf of the Board of School Directors and the administration, I wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year that's filled with peace and renewal. And Dr. Grandy, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Palmer. Now we have time for comments from the audience for items on the agenda this evening. Is there anyone who would like to speak tonight to topics on the agenda? Oh yeah, I skipped board announcements. Thank you, Dr. Huff, who's coaching me. So I missed board announcements. The board did meet prior to this meeting for an information session to discuss school start times and in an executive session to discuss a student safety matter and a specific personnel matter. So now I will ask, is there anyone who would like to speak tonight on topics on our agenda? Okay. So our first item for action, as Dr. Palmer mentioned, is approval of actually two separate minutes. So we have the minutes from the November 25th meeting and the minutes from the December 2nd meetings. And I'll just mention to board members, you don't have to have been present at those meetings to vote on this measure. And so I move to approve these. Do we have a second? Second. Ms. Semino. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. The measure passes 8-0. I should have asked any abstentions. I will figure this out. I think I heard all 8. Okay. Bear with me. And then moving on to personnel, we have several items for action in personnel. Are there any items on this list that anyone on the board would like to separate from the rest? Okay, so I will walk through these. So first, we have the approval of several resignations. We have 2 administrative staff, as Dr. Palmer just mentioned, Jennifer Guadioso, Director of Elementary Education, and Christopher Brown, Principal at Strathaven High School. And we have 1 member of the certified staff, Sierra Quanton, Special Education Teacher at Strathaven Middle School. We also have the approval of the appointment of Ann Wood to the position of Instructional Support at WES. We have the approval of leaves of absence for 4 certified staff and 1 non-certified staff as listed in the agenda. We have the approval of activity advisor appointments as stipulated in the agenda. We have the approval of all NPE, WES, and SRS certified staff to work on the positive behavior interventions and support strategies and curriculum at the rate of $37 per hour, not to exceed 225 total hours for each school for the 2019-2020 school year. And we have the approval of additions to the 2019 fall supplemental postseason pay as stipulated. We have the approval of the additions to the 2019-2020 winter athletics and 2019-2020 activities supplemental appointments lists as stipulated. And finally, we have the approval of additions to the 2019-2020 conference requests as listed in the agenda. All of these are as attached or described in the agenda. Do I have a motion? Dr. Huff. And do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Walkman. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? And the item passes 8-0. So moving on to policy, we have a group of policies for action in the policy section. We have the approval of the third and final reading of several policy changes as listed in the agenda, and given that this is the third and final vote, with this vote, these policies will be officially adopted. Do I have a motion? Mr. Orsetti. A second?
Second.
Dr. Downey. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Any abstentions? The item passes 8-0. Moving on to finance. We have 7 items for approval in finance. Are there any items on this list that anyone on the board would like to separate from the rest? 6? Okay, 6 items. Isn't there 7? Okay, okay. So we have the approval of payments of invoices to vendors through December 4th, 2019. We have the approval of the treasurer's report. For October 2019. We have the acknowledgement of receipts of various financial statements for November 2019. We have the approval of an agreement with PowerSchool for the change from Unified Administration Enrollment Registration to PowerSchool Enrollment Express and PowerSchool e-collect forms as stipulated in the attachment. We have the approval for the facility temporary licensing agreement between Newman University and Strathaven High School for the 2020 commencement. We have the approval of a memorandum of understanding with Special Olympics Pennsylvania for the purpose of supporting the interscholastic. Did I miss one?
No, I have to correct you. We thought we were going to put on Newman, and it was not ready.
Oh, it was not ready.
It was not ready.
That's why I had 7 and you have 6. There we go. Okay. Okay.
In the financial statements for Fund 10, those are October 2019, not November.
For the various financial statements, okay. So October 2019. Strike what I said about Newman University. So we have, so the Special Olympics item, which I just mentioned, as outlined in the attachment. And we have the approval of the removal of obsolete musical instruments and equipment from the district by Music and Arts Center. So I think I have it all now. All of these are as attached or described in the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Walkman. A second?
Second.
Mr. Orsetti. Any discussion?
I have a question. I don't know if anyone will know the answer to this, but do we know what Music and Arts does with these? Since they're not a nonprofit, right? They're for-profit, and I'm just wondering.
They're going to pick up all of the obsolete equipment. If there are any parts that they can take off of some, the clarinet or something, they will retain those parts, but the rest of it is all going to be disposed of appropriately as you would to dispose of the equipment.
Thanks.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? The item passes 8-0. Now we have time for comments from the audience related to things we didn't just vote on. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? Okay. Do we have any old business? do we have any new business? Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.